that's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
At least you're in fun. Here, let me drop my fucking steering wheel.
There we go.
Howdy folks, Texas Grebner here with Texas Grebner Outdoors. On the way on a fishing trip, I got Captain Keny, and today I think we're the Epic Head crew, going after some catfish and stripers at Powerton. So stay tuned, it's going to be a shit show fiasco. Friendly advice from Tex Grebner. If you can't do something very well, at least look really, really cool doing it like shit. Good news is we fucking like them. Yeah. I need to fucking go ahead. First of all, I need to fucking check this bitch out there before my fucking reel freezes again. I gotta jerk off fucking 90 feet of line. Tex Grebner casting over the power lines. This trip was planned months in advance. After a failed catfishing trip in the Illinois River, Captain Keny and I broke out the bow and arrow and fired up the motor. And we decided that we would collect some Asian carp to use as bait for a trip to the Powerton Lake discharge in the middle of winter.
Did you get him? I think you got him, man. Dude, you got one, dude. Fuck yeah. You got him. Hell yeah. Aerial bow fishing. Nice.
Now you see that right behind the shoulder.
How was it?
It was fucking bitchin'. And there you have it. Asian carp cut bait and gut bombs.
Well, putting on some more fucking clothes, seeing as it's 9 fucking degrees out here. Water's steaming, but it ain't no good when you get far away from it.
I promise you, you ain't never gonna hear that shit on a TV outdoor show. This is fucking real.
We're doing some tactical fishing out here today. That's why I've got my shemagh on. Captain Keny over here is a real smooth operator.
I had let these fillets and gut balls spoil for a day before freezing them.
So tell the good people of YouTube what you're using for bait.
Does not even begin to describe their stench.
Speak up a little bit.
This is a gut ball, gut bomb, nut sack. Here's the open.
The funny thing is, Captain Keny is one of the best fishermen that I've ever known in my life. At least when he's not with me. Now when he's with me, in his own words, when I'm with Tex, it's a fucking heyday. This was the first time that I had ever fished for catfish in the winter. And so I had no idea that if you reeled in your line to rebait, that your reel would simply freeze solid. And you would have to jerk line off to free up your line to cast. St. Peter was a fisherman. Now, he was most likely a much better fisherman than me. But in the interest of divine intervention, God blessed me with a catfish, and I was very happy about it, let me just tell you.
Well, we got one, folks. Didn't get fucking skunk.
When you've been sitting in 9 degrees for 3 hours without a bite, you are very happy about anything that comes to the bank that's not a stick. Here is quite the dilemma. Do you remove your gloves and freeze your fingers, or not remove your gloves and have them stink like fish for a week? To be
Good
or
looking,
not to
healthy
be.
little catfish. Now don't you horn me, a little motherfucker. Still got my bait. Let's get him back in the water. No, we ain't gonna catch shit yet.
Powerton is a very well-stocked lake, and it never freezes, which means that the catfish can become absolutely massive. However, its strong current from the discharge and its rocky bottom can create many false strikes. The massive amount of small catfish that will simply pick up a chunk of your bait, completely miss the hook, and then swim off with it and let you jerk it out of their mouth as if it was a game of whack-a-mole, will do nothing but piss you off. Now, fishing at Powerton can be very competitive, so it's always a good idea to keep your tip up and your fish down, as the ice fishermen say. And I must admit, watching people lose their minds thinking that they have hooked a massive catfish when they have only hooked into another man's hook, absolutely hilarious.
That on that rock carp? Yeah, that's actually pretty good size. Good eating size. What size? 6 Not bad. Okay, so please be on there. That motherfucker. You know, that's all it takes. Fucking walk away from that shit.
We had walked a very long way to a secluded portion of the discharge pond, away from the madding crowd. However, we had given up on the actual large, heavy surf rods that we had in favor of our lighter spinning tackle, simply because it didn't seem like we had a chance in hell today of actually catching a big catfish. We did encounter a problem that we had not foreseen with our spinning tackle. While our large bait casting surf rods would freeze solid in the reels, our spinning rods had to be completely relined because the electrical tape that we had wrapped our spools with had loosened up with the cold, and our line was no longer gripping our bails. And so we had to, like total noob dumbasses, completely rip every single foot of line off of our rod, and then reline the entire rod right there on the bank with numbed fingers in the cold, having no idea how badly we were getting line burn. But these are things that you don't learn unless you actually go out on an adventure. These small catfish that were unable to take our hooks continued to frustrate us. It seemed as if As soon as we would get our gloves back on after baiting our hooks and tossing our lines, that it was time to rebait. We would pull our bait off of our hooks down to just the bare skin of the carp by dragging it along the rocks, reeling in on a false strike. The cold was very impressive, but once we had our reels relined, we had no problems. And finally, as if a miracle happened, Captain Keny actually got a strike. Now clearly, I was busy lighting a cigarette and not paying attention to my rod, and so I missed a strike, but at least Captain Keny had some more success. It was quite an adventure. We were cold, but undaunted, because we had fully committed to it. With the rocks being sharp and our light tackle, we had to re-rig several times. And when it's 9 to 15 degrees, you ice fishermen know, it's not easy to tie a double clench knot or a Palomar when you can't hardly feel your fingers. As time passed, it seemed that we were only having success catching stick bass. As you can see, our pile of drift brush that would snag our hooks was growing.
Well, fuck. I'd say it's warmed up from about 9 to what, fucking 15? I might need to rebake that. I don't know.
And then, after another hour had passed, enduring the elements in search of adventure, Captain Keny landed yet another fish, leaving him in the lead of this tournament between two.
What's the matter? You never held a catfish before?
Get home. A little bit better. Nice and inside. Not skinny like they were in the summertime.
Nah, they ain't all spawned out. Okay, so now what you need to do is you need to let me put my hook in his mouth and we'll sling him out there.
Yeah.
Like they do on the real fishing shows. Shortly after Captain Keny had landed his medium-sized catfish, I had a strike. And a small fish in the hand is worth a monster in the pond.
That's a fair size one. Yeah, tournament winner, folks. Tournament winner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got horned. I'm stuck pretty good. He flipped when I threw him out. He flipped back and fucking got me as he was leaving my hand.
There was a great splashing and commotion, and we whipped the camera on just in time to see this monster being pulled from
That is
the
a
water.
fucking monster, dude. Oh, it's gotta be more.
Hurry up and wait. When action happens, it happens in a hurry. And Captain Keny had left his large surf rod lodged between some rocks. and it bent double
That one
earlier.
probably bigger.
However, by the time that I reached it with no time to turn on the camera, the reel was singing.
Fucking looking like the Blair Witch up in here.
And when I set the hook, there was nothing on the end of it. The one that got away is always the biggest.
Well, I told you it was bigger than 20. Well, I'm glad somebody had some luck today.
Finally, it was time to pack up.
I mean, it was a good day. It was decent. Colder than a motherfucker. It's colder than a fucking witch's cunt out here, but by God, we went fucking fishing. Which is actually really funny, because at one point in my life, I dated a fucking witch.
Satisfied in our success, Captain Keny and I began the long walk out from the discharge.
Tex Grebner outdoors. Scene 7. Take 6.
That never gets old. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Clearly, we made it back to my Jeep. About a 2-mile walk in and out along the lake. Colder than fuck, but at least it wasn't terrible windy. Our reels were freezing solid when we'd reel them in to rebait. Didn't catch anything huge. Couple of people were pulling up massive blue cats, but we caught a couple small ones like you seen. And so we had a lot of fun, generally speaking, and hope to do it again sometime. But glad you guys tuned in and went out with us, and glad that you put up with me being your bad luck charm.
It's alright, Tex.
Everybody's got to have a friend like me.
Come to be known.
Yes, but at least there's only one of me. I'm one of a kind. Thank God there's only one of me.
Thank God for that.
Fucker. Anyways, as always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at legallyconcealed.org. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.